Hello everyone, in this video I'll be showing you the best weapons and rolls in Borderlands 4's new Bounty Pack 3 and the Vault Card 3. There's actually some pretty interesting new weapons that got introduced here, and I'll be breaking down all of that in this video, and I'm a huge fan of this one here, which actually has some pretty fun references. My favorite is the Torque Shotgun, the Cormano, which is a reference to Sunset Riders. This thing can also come with a Jacobs and Ripper part on it. We also got the Raiden referencing an old IGN review here. And another very powerful one is the Hard Dark Batman reference. And the light gun, not really that great. You have to crouch to reload it, but it's kind of funny. It's like an old arcade shooter where you had to like shoot off the screen to get your reloads in. And we also have things like the Cooper Duper here. We also have the New Order pistol Rhythm with the Feel the Rhyme, actually a reference to Cool Runnings. There's also the Discy Business Maliwan Shotgun, which has a Tron reference on it, and it looks similar to the Disc Jockey in its appearance. Another fun weapon here, the Brickhouse SMG, that can come with a variety of different roles. And to dive right in, I'm going to start with my favorite, the Cormano Torque Shotgun. Now, the highest possible DPS roll is a 32k here. And again, I just want to make a little quick disclaimer that I did use a save editor to get all the perfect rolls so I can showcase what the best things to farm for are, and this is exactly just for educational purposes. This thing can also come with elements on it. You can get really any element on here. It will have the highest damage without. It can also come with some different underbarrels like the Flame Blast there. It can come with Hyperion, Tedior, and even a COV magazine. Now, personally, I like the Jacobs roll on it. Anytime you can get that, it's likely the best in slot. You do get a tiny bit more damage from a slightly faster fire rate if you go without it, but honestly, with the takedown, you want the Jacobs roll. Anytime you got a Ripper part, the 2 active fire here just works fantastic to increase the charge rate. Now, this thing can also come with stickies, but impact's just kind of the way to go. As you can see here, it does some insane damage. I'm not even super close to it. Melting Corporal Brennan here. I'm using this boss like I do in other videos just for ease of showcase to you guys. Now, there are some people that like to use stickies, but honestly, it's just better to not. So swapping them over there, you see they start to do the damage. And in things like takedowns where every second matters, you want to be using Torgue Impact just to get the kills off that much quicker. And you can see there that the bullets just bounce around, destroying everything in the vicinity. And for min-maxers, there are elemental versions of this. So you can grab one, like if you're going against Thoth, you grab a fire one, and you do lose a bit of DPS here, but obviously with the elemental swapping, it makes up for it a lot more. So I'll showcase this shock one here against the actual shock health bar, and you can see it just absolutely melted. So yeah, this thing is hilarious. I also love the appearance of the explosions. It kind of reminds me of like the Minecraft in Borderlands 2. Not a huge Minecraft fan, but very big fan of that moment. The only really difficult thing about this is the spread comes out like you see there in a straight line, but if you're barrel stuffing and getting relatively close enough that you're not going to take yourself out, just be mindful that Jacobs with a Torque can bounce around and explode. So the Honey Badger shield can be a bit nice. However, once that shield goes down, you go back to the regular 100% damage versus the 10% that you'd be taking without. And to get this weapon, it is part of the vault cards here. And honestly, even a bad roll of this is very strong. I'll also now move on to the Rhythm Cool Runnings reference. Now, this order pistol works differently because firing from a 3 charge stack deals plus 200% cryo damage and refunds the ammo cost. Reloading changes its charge speed, making it a really tricky one to use. But if you like that kind of thing, it's a fun weapon. Now, this can come with Jacobs. It can come with the Torgue parts on it. I slightly prefer the Torgue. You can see the DPS on it is higher. It can also come with different ammo swappers, SMGs, shotgun being my favorites. Just an interesting gun in general. It can also come without the ammo swapper and it'll cap out at 19k DPS. I like to have like an SMG or shotgun loader on it, but even if you go with the Jacobs, it's okay. I do prefer the Torgue on this. But as mentioned, this is a tricky one to use because you're trying to get that 3-round charge there so that it refunds the ammo. I'm using a build that refunds ammo, but you do get more damage out of it if you go for the 3 charge versus like the 5 charge. The 5 charge still does like actually a good amount of damage here, especially if you're going to use like active fire because it seems to work weirdly with that. So even if you overshoot it, don't worry. Even at a 4-shot charge, it's still pretty powerful. I have a feeling this one might be a little bit bugged in how it works, but it does refund the ammo, but it does obviously, if you go to full stacks, do a pretty considerable amount of damage as well. So yeah, you're trying to get that 3, but don't feel bad if you don't. And here's what the shotgun mode looks like on it. So we'll get that reload going and try to get the 3 charge. It does seem that the ammo swapper makes it work a little bit weird. So yeah, you can see where damage is a lot lower. Doesn't seem like the Torgue ends up working whenever you go with that full charge there either. So yeah, this one does seem like it may be a little bit bugged a bit. So yeah, I would actually, oh, there we go. We got some more damage going. I guess having the critical hits does make a big difference for this thing. Another thing about this is it does have a large splash radius of 100 centimeters and a plus 71 to its crits, so it can hit quite hard, but yeah, it does have a weird mechanic that some people may not like. And here's the highest possible damage roll on it, so this is with the Torg on it. And yeah, you can see it does pretty considerable amounts of damage. It is a little bit wonky with getting infinite ammo on certain characters, but this thing does hit pretty hard as far as ordered pistols go. So even if you see there, we reload, we got a really fast charge speed. So again, that's what kind of messes with you because you have to predict it, but it hits really hard if you got that full damage roll on it. And even if you accidentally overshoot it and make it a 5-shot, it's still going to be very powerful. And I'll also now swap to the Jacobs version here with no Torg on it. You want the Torg roll though, because you can see the Torg just makes this thing hit so much harder. So yeah, it's still going to be strong without it, but Torg is a way to go. So Torg Jacobs is my personal favorite without the ammo swapper, but even with an ammo swapper, it's still good. It can also have sticky, it can have Hyperion. Now the takedown added in the shoals, which I did a video on the takedown weapons, which I prefer a lot more, but this is still an interesting weapon. And what I gotta say is it's a fun and different weapon. It's hard to use, but you feel rewarded for using it. And I can't say the same really about the light gun sniper rifle. It can come with a variety of different rolls, like a pistol loader. My favorite being the Jacobs and the SMG ammo. You can also get a big rocket on it. Now this gun can't be reloaded, but it'll give you a 50% damage reduction and it'll refill the magazine after a short delay. As mentioned, this is kind of like the old, if you've ever been to an arcade, like the shooters, then you shoot downwards to get your ammo back. That's the reference it's making. Now the way that damage reduction works in this game, let's say you have a rep kit that gives you 50% damage taken reduction. You can view that under your skills and go to player stats and we'll see the 50% damage reduction. If you then use a rep kit, it goes to 66.7. You can push this up to like 70 with another damage reduction. It's not worth stacking it. You get heavily diminishing returns after 50%. In a game like Borderlands 4, defense is not your best friend. Movement speed and raw damage is much better, especially on certain characters that have lifesteal. However, the weight action is actually kind of interesting because if you have an infinite ammo setup, you don't have to worry about it as much, but I'm going to show you something here. When we run out of bullets, I'll just shoot off so that we do run out of bullets, you can reload it by either crouching or you can do a little slide. So yeah, I really like that style of gameplay. It actually incentivizes you to slide, but you see here, is this worth using? Meh, it's a kaleidosplode. It's an interesting one. I really like the concept there. Now, if you stay crouched while using it, you do get that 50% damage reduction. The only downside is when you stay crouched, you don't get the ammunition again until you stand up and crouch again. So this does incentivize a really cool playstyle. I think this would be a lot better if it got like a big damage boost, because right now as it stands, you can see it's just doing absolutely nothing. So yeah, I like this weapon, don't get me wrong. I just wish it had some more perks. I feel like they were trying to balance around it having a damage reduction to it, and keeping that damage reduction while sliding is really nice. It can lead to some fun new ways to play, and it can also, as you can see here, I got this SMG loader, which makes it shoot a lot faster, but that would be good if you have like a Bloodshot Vex or a Gloam to Glow Cache. Those would be two instances where this weapon would actually be pretty solid. I am experimenting with some more Bloodshot builds, trying to get that Ultimate Vault Hunter 7 Platinum time. It's doable, but really difficult. And yeah, this one, with no reloading, it does make things a little bit difficult if you don't have like some sort of infinite ammo, because you'll be constantly sliding around. So yeah, I wish this gun had a bit more damage, and then it would be very good. You merely adopted the dark. I was born in it. The hard dark. I actually really like this thing. Fun fact, if you're fighting cleaner, where this drops from, it can actually also drop you the Malcredy. So two of the dataless assault rifles, the Malcredy actually got a really nice buff to it, but this thing can come with a pistol. It can come with any ammo swapper. It can come with Ripper. It can also come with TDR, Hyperion, and Atlas underbarrels. However, no Jacobs roll, which I know is a downside for a lot of people that want to use it for mobbing. But the bullets do kind of naturally ricochet in a sense, you'll see here. And you'll see here, this is with the Ripper part and the shotgun loader. It does some pretty good damage, as you're seeing. This is with the shotgun, or with the shock version of it. Weird thing about assault rifles with Harlow's infinite ammo, sometimes it doesn't work properly. But yeah, it actually does a pretty considerable amount of damage. This is in the assault rifle mode. The assault rifle mode is really good. It also has a pistol mode, which does shoot a little bit slower. I personally prefer the shotgun and the SMG loaders on it, but if you don't use a certain type of weapon, it's nice to have a different type of ammo you can switch to. Here's the shotgun loader again. And if you see, if I shoot it off the ground, it can actually ricochet, kind of like a Cyclops beam if you're playing Marvel Rivals. So it's cool. You can use math and angles to get some damage off, but it's going to ricochet or explode just like that on the enemy. The ricochets more so happen behind the enemy. And here's the SMG variant of it. So yeah, the way that it ricochets is kind of interesting. So I can imagine this will be a pretty solid one if you're throwing on high caliber to get the bullets to pierce through there. But yeah, you can see it's, for some reason, dataless guns will sometimes have issues with getting that infinite ammo to trigger on like a Harlow setup. I'm not sure why. The Gomi is another weapon that has that same issue. Still a very powerful weapon, all things considered. I like the shotgun loader the most here. As you can see, pretty solid amounts of damage. It's no Malkadi, but it's still a very strong weapon and a fun new one. And again, I really like the dataless weapons in this game because I'm missing Heimdahl, and this is the closest thing that we got. But yeah, this is a fun one. It's not really like a super powerful assault rifle compared to some of the others, but it's good enough. That weapon drops from Cleaner, and so does the Cooper Duper. Now this one's funky. It works best if you're like playing as Cash, who can get the infinite ammo, or even Amon can do it a little bit better because it can have a really small magazine size of either 2 or 1 here. The 2 is a little bit preferred because you can see the damage will be somewhat similar here, and it has a very long cooldown of 53 seconds. It looks pretty cool though, so we'll fire off one of these big barrels. If you're playing with friends, they can shoot the barrels for a bit of extra damage here. Boom, we use up our 2 shots there. A little tricky to use because yeah, it just exploded there. So you can do some fun stuff with it, but it is no Draupner, which just came with the takedown. Contention for best in slot alongside Heimdahl. Now I know this is not a weapon that came from this pack, but I'd encourage you to check that video out that I've done on the takedown weapons, because yeah, it does that. The new best bossing weapon. Cooper Duper, it's okay. I feel like it's better on like a Cash setup, and even then, there's better options, even purples. Now the Discy business Maliwan shotgun, yeah, it's okay. I like the concept in theory. The damage isn't that high. As mentioned, it does somewhat resemble like the disc jockey. So yeah, Maliwan having an elemental swapper, amazing. It can come with Ripper and Jacobs. Does cap out around 10k DPS or else 11. Now, is this worth using? Yeah, it's okay. It has a very fast firing projectile, and the projectiles, you can see, they kind of are just bouncing around everywhere, which is really nice. So you can do some cool stuff with it. It's fine for the new takedowns because it'll bounce around, find enemies for you. But yeah, it does have an obvious downside of just not having pure raw damage like the others would. So as far as shotguns go, there's better uses for your ammo, and a lot of other guns that have a shotgun part will end up being better. I like this when I was messing around with it. It just doesn't have the damage it needs. 150 centimeter explosion radius is cool though, but it only shoots 1 per second, which yeah, it's even with the Ripper part, not ideal. This is dropped from Fixer. Now Biff Fistful, the final boss here, drops us the Brickhouse. This one can have upwards of 30k DPS, and it has multi-ball. Every 10th shot fired fires a projectile that returns the player, which can bounce and has a chance to spawn 2 additional when colliding with enemies or players. So great if you're playing with friends. And with this, you can get a Jacobs roll on it. It also will come with a potential or a Ripper part on it, which can be like if you got the Atlas on here, you can't get that together. I really like the Atlas tracker dart, so you can shoot on a boss's weak point and just let it fire, and it makes it a lot easier. It can also come with damage, elemental, and a variety of different rolls here, like the shock damage one, 25k, without it's 29.8k. And this is here what it looks like for damage. So it's okay. It's not like crazy strong by any means, but it does the trick, and it shoots really fast. So this is great for like glow to glow Cash setups, anything that really benefits from that high fire rate. This is the shock variant of it, so it's good against the health bar that we're going against here. But yeah, you can see those projectiles flying off. They'll match whatever element that you're currently using, which is cool, and they'll just be normal white there. So yeah, the projectiles are kind of fun. You see there, they fly around, they'll comb back in on the enemy, and it can give you some nice bursts of damage. So if it hits a player or something like that, it's just going to fly back around. I like the concept of this gun. The damage from it is like, it's good, but it's nothing to like, you know, build around like some of the other SMGs. But it's a good one. It's not bad, and actually high bullet damage as well. Fast fire rate. It's a fun weapon with Ripper and Jacobs. It can also come with Hyperion, TDR, and even COV, so Rafa can make good use of that if you want to use like a Vitriol setup. Now the Raiden, this is the Pearlescent from Bounty Pack 3. On paper, if you're to just use it as its intended mechanism, not really that great. However, on kill you get a projectile count booster. The cool thing about this is it works on every single gun in the game. This means your heavy ordnances, because these are considered guns. It can boost up the Hot Slugger, giving it extra projectiles, and these projectiles will last for 14 seconds. Having it always roll with the COV and shotgun loaders actually kind of interesting, because the COV, it just limits you in certain instances, but in this case I think it works great, because you're going to use this just to pick up a couple easy quick mob kills and then empower your other weapons. As we collect these orbs, what it'll actually do too is then add those extra projectiles to our weapon, as you can see here. This can lead to some pretty crazy amounts of DPS when you're using very high heavy ordnances like the new Draupner, or things like the Heimdahl. It looks like it shoots off one head, but then they're gonna split around, and it's actually 3 heads for the price of 1. It gives insane amounts of DPS. You can see that right beside the health bar, the amount of extra projectiles you get, making the Raiden more of like a support style weapon, as it will boost up the damage of your other weapons. It's actually pretty insane, with the Heimdahl and the new Draupner being like the best examples of crazy DPS that you can get. And I actually see this being something that you'd want to build around. Hopefully they don't end up patching this out, because otherwise the weapon does not feel that good at all. Now you can see here the damage this thing is not super high, but that's not why you use it. It's all about getting these extra orbs here to then give your other power weapons a much more powerful effect, with like multiple different Heimdahl heads popping off, or the Draupner. So it itself is not that strong, but ape together strong. And I'm experimenting with other weapons, like you could easily see it with the Kaleidosplode, the worst weapon in the game. This will buff up pretty much everything. But yeah, as a gun itself, not amazing, but it's probably the best new weapon here, because it empowers some of our more powerful weapons. Now, that'd probably be the strongest one. The Cormano is a fantastic weapon as well. The Hard Dark is really fun. I probably would say the Rhythm is a slight bit better, but these 2 weapons are also really great. So we got 4 solid new weapons and a cool support style weapon. Let me know your favorites in the comments below. Hit the subscribe button if you enjoyed, and we'll catch y'all in the next one.